All right, welcome to your first video reference. This is for section 4.1. In section 4.1, you're going to learn how to plot points on the coordinate plane. And you're going to do that from a few different ways. You're going to end up doing that from an ordered pair. So something like -5, 2, which is super simple. You'll also plot points from linear functions like y equals, -3x minus 5. The other thing we're going to learn a lot about in this section, the first one here, is quadrants. So we'll also learn about the 4 different quadrants so you can identify where the function or the coordinates are for the plane. So definitely in this chapter, this unit, we're learning mostly and only about linear functions. What's important to know about linear functions is that they increase at a constant rate of change. They don't have to start at 0, 0. In 7th grade, your proportional relationships always started at 0, 0, but they do not have to this year. And when you make a straight line, when you make a graph, they should always, because they're a constant rate, give you a straight line. Okay, so maybe by reading ahead or from your memory, can someone tell me which controls the y values? Is it your domain or your range? Yeah, it's your range. So your range controls your y values, and it helps you move up and down the coordinate plane. It's also known as your dependent variable or your outputs. So therefore, what controls your x values? That is called your domain. So that's your x values. It's your independent variable. It's your inputs. And which directions does x coordinates tell you to go? Yeah, left or right. Okay, so we're just going to kind of, for now, for the sake of this section, kind of skip down to here. So this is your basic coordinate plane. Going here in blue, this is your x-axis. And then vertically, this is your y-axis. All right, so now if you look at the quadrants, this is quadrant 1. Your coordinates will always be positive, positive. This is quadrant 2, which would make an x. Over here, your x's are negative, and your y's are positive. How about here in quadrant 3? What would your x and y values be? Yep, here they're both negative, negative. And lastly, over here in quadrant 4, it would be positive for x and negative for y. All right, so if you turn the page, this is basically considered for each section your guided notes. So we'll fill in the notes as we go. We'll stop for checkpoints and then check your answers. And that's kind of how we do each section here. So again, we're plotting points in the coordinate plane. The first thing we're going to do in example 1 is learn how to just name the coordinates in the plane. So if you look here, this first coordinate that we're looking at, A, is just 2 units. So copy this down to the right of the origin and 2 units up from the origin. So could you tell me what you think the x and y axis, x and y coordinates are? Yeah, 2, 2. And then to write that as an ordered pair, sorry, I just said it would be 2, 2. All right, talk to a neighbor and see if you can figure out what to put for coordinate B. Hopefully you said 4 units to the left of the origin and 2 units up. So the x coordinate is -4, the y coordinate is 2. Can someone tell me how to write that as a ordered pair? -4, 2. Great. So I'm going to pause the video here. It's your first checkpoint. I want you to look at example 1 and give the coordinates of C, D, and E. So C, D, and E. Good luck. All right, so hopefully you're able to do that, and you got these answers. So C was -2, -3, 4, -3, 1, -4. All right, example 2. So now we're going to actually plot coordinates on the plane. And then describe the location. So when we describe the location, what I want you to do is talk to me about which quadrant it's in. So that's going to come up on your first quiz. You're going to have to know, all right, I can plot a point and I can tell you which quadrant it's in. All right, so the first one is coordinate A. This can be confusing at times because it has the 0 in it. A lot of people get confused on how to graph this. So we're going to begin at the origin, always. And we're going to move for the x. Remember, x is left and right. And y tells you how much to go up and down. So for the x is 0, that means we're literally going to move 0 points left or right, really. And so all we have to do, is go 3 units. Sorry, this one got a little messed up. Up on the y-axis. So basically, you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Put a dot, call it A. The next one, we're going to begin again at the origin, which is here, of course. That's 0, 0. And for 1, -2, we're going to go to the move 1 place to the right. And then how are we going to move with that -2? 2 units down. So your coordinate will be 1 right, 2 down. That's going to be coordinate B. For the next and final one, and then we'll go back and describe the different, how can you say it? We'll describe the different locations on the coordinate grid. So for the last one, we have x is -3, y is -4. As always, when we graph, you start at the origin and start with the x. We're going to move, how are we going to move with the x of -3? You're going to go move 3 units to the right. And how about -4 for y? 4 units down. And then we'll go back for the quadrant. So now we come over here, we go -3, and then -4, which is right here. Call that C. So going back here, can someone tell me point A? That's kind of a trick question. Is it on a quadrant, or would you just say it's on an axis? Yeah, I would say an axis. And what axis would that be? Point A is on the y-axis. All right, point B. All right, so point B is here. Can someone remember what quadrant that is? It's either 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's quadrant 4. And then the last one is point C. Which quadrant is that? So that's quadrant 3. Again, if you do that here, that goes quadrant 1, 2, 3, and then 4. All right, I'll pause the video one more time. If you could take a moment to graph these 2 checkpoints. We got -4, -4, and 2, 0. All right, and don't forget to describe the location, which quadrant. So if you did that right, you hopefully have a coordinate here for -4, -4. So x went left 4, y went down 4. Again, can someone tell me what quadrant this is in? Yep, it's quadrant 3. And then the last one here, you are just moving over 2 and then up or down 0. And again, kind of with the trick question, it's not on a quadrant, but it's on what axis? The x-axis. Great.